Tonight's set of notes is a pretty simple one, just some key vocabulary terms for our new unit, Unit 3, which is going to be on the U.S. Constitution. The first term is Articles of Confederation. And the definition for this is the nation's first constitution, which created a framework for a loose partnership of states. So before we actually have the U.S. Constitution, we have a different form of government, the Articles of Confederation. So this was our very first government. As I move through these, certainly pause it as you need to in order to get the definitions copied into your notes. The second is the Northwest Ordinance. The Northwest Ordinance was a law passed by Congress in 1787, stating how Western lands would be governed and how new states would be added to the country. So we know we had the original 13 colonies, but in the picture here you see the green area. Those were areas that we very quickly started moving into. And the Northwest Ordinance was a law that gave us a process for how are we going to add states to our country. The Constitutional Convention. This was a convention held in Philadelphia in 1787 to draft or write the Constitution of the United States. The Great Compromise. A compromise that solved the issue of representation in Congress, with each state being represented equally in the Senate and representation in the House based on state population. So we'll be talking about the compromises that went into creating the Constitution. One of them was the Great Compromise. The Electoral College. The Electoral College is a body made up of electors from each state who've cast votes to elect the president and vice president. Preamble. Pre means before, right? So think early, the first part of the Constitution, which states the purposes of the new plan of government. Congress. Congress is the legislative or lawmaking branch of the federal government, and it consists of the Senate and the House of Representatives. Chief Executive refers to the head of the executive branch, which is the president. Federal Judiciary refers to the federal court system, which consists of the Supreme Court and lower federal courts. And the last one is judicial review. Judicial review means the power of the Supreme Court to review an action of Congress or the president and declare it unconstitutional. So, some terms that some of them you may have heard before, some of them you may not, but I want to have those down and start to make some sense of them, because over the next couple of weeks we're going to be talking about the U.S. Constitution and some of these ideas. After you fill in your notes with the definitions, print these notes and add them to your Unit 3 tab in your binder.